guys, we've got a lot to catch up on. Since those big wins over Leverkusen and Wolfsburg, the boys have been absolutely flying. Europa League progress? Check. Bundesliga dominance? Check. And how about some deadline day drama? We said goodbye to Schlager but brought in the exciting young Stefan Bajcetic to inject some fresh energy into our midfield. Now, it's crunch time. Koln's up next in the league, but all eyes are on the big one, Bayern Munich.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 26 of Red Bull KloppBot here on Sean Does FM with RB Leipzig. I hope you're doing well and come up day. We look to continue a perfect record so far here with Leipzig as we take on Cologne away from home, that one including the KloppBot's hotspots, and then off the back of taking on a Mainz team in the bottom half of the table, then we take on the big guns Bayern Munich, who are 17 points clear on top of the Bundesliga, so probably that'll be when we suffer our first defeat of the season, if it hasn't already happened by that stage. We're looking forward to that coming up in today's episode as well, as a bit of an update on what happened late on in the transfer window as well, because the deal did go through on deadline day. Then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. But yesterday, played our first couple of games in charge here at RB Leipzig. Also did a majority of our transfer work as well for that January window. So if you missed that one, I'll leave a link to it over in the top right corner. Since then, we have taken on a number of pretty average teams. So it has meant we've picked up 4 wins from 4-2 games to finish off the league phase of the Europa League. 2-1 over Hapoel Beersheva, those guys from over in Israel. Both of these games in the Europa League did play a pretty heavily rotated squad. The second game, though, did actually use Benjamin Sesko up front, and because of that, picked up a bit more of a comfortable result, 3-1 over Sheriff Tiraspol. So that means with those 2 wins, we did stay inside of the top 8. We've gone straight through to the round of 16. So it does mean a couple of games less that we have to play there in the knockouts of the Europa League. Hopefully by the time we come back for that Bayern game, we'll find out who we do take on in that round of 16. But you can see there, we finished 5th, unfortunately. RB Salzburg, they picked up 2 wins as well from their final 2 games, so it does mean that they qualify a little bit higher than us, but to be fair, not too sure it makes too much difference in terms of who you get in that round of 16 draw anyway. So we've made our way through to the round of 16 in the Europa League, and also picked up 2 more wins in the Bundesliga, 3-0 over Werder Bremen and 5-0 over Union Berlin. Both those teams are struggling this season down near the relegation zone. Union Berlin right at the bottom of the table, and as you can see, that means already we've moved into a Champions League qualifying spot. The goal differential here is actually really good at RB Leipzig. A little bit surprised that they were struggling so much considering that, but we're now in 4-4, albeit it is only on goal differential over Hoffenheim, but to be fair, that's a quite sizable goal differential advantage, and if we can beat Cologne first up in today's episode, we'll actually move up to 3rd, only 2 points behind Borussia Dortmund, and let's be real, that wouldn't be a bad spot to be, because no way in heck are we catching Bayern Munich in this first season here at RB Leipzig. So it's been a great start for us here over in Germany. Let's hope it continues during the course of today's episode, at the very least, up until we take on the big boys. That one, though, is at home, so hopefully might be able to pinch a point off them in that game. But as I mentioned, we have actually done some business on deadline day. It wasn't expected, but a pretty good bid came in for one of our players, so we decided to check out options available, and actually ended up being a pretty good transfer on paper. You can see there overall for RB Leipzig, not all this is our work, but transfers out this season, £145 million, transfers in 152 million. The player we sold, though, Xavier Schlager, he's been injured for a large majority of the time we've been here at RB Leipzig for a couple of different things, including a virus, but he's gone to Brighton for £55 million, rising to 71 million. The KloppBot forward, that was a pretty good deal for a 29-year-old. Very good player, but at 29 years old, we cash in on him with that 3-star current ability and potential unlikely to improve. So he's gone to Brighton as Xavier Schlager, our backup defensive midfielder, in behind our homegrown club signing from yesterday's episode in Eric Martel, and we've replaced him from Liverpool with Stefan Bajcetic. He comes in for £44 million, rising up to 49. So we do make a little bit of money on that transfer, not too much up front, but hopefully if Schlager makes all those appearances he needs to trigger that extra money that we should get from Brighton, they'll end up being quite a good bit of business, especially because Bajcetic does look quite good with 4-star potential and 2.5-star current ability. Hopefully also I remember the right pronunciation during the entire course of today's episode, but obviously he had a really good little part of a season a couple of years ago in real life for Liverpool before getting injured this season in real life on loan at Red Bull Salzburg, so kind of knows what Red Bull life's all about already, and he's a decent backup that we've brought in behind, as we said earlier, Martel, just in front of someone like Batista Mendy. So that's the transfer we did there on deadline day. Also, got the rules wrong earlier with the Europa League. Because we did all our transfers quite early in that January window, we're actually able to register all our new signings for the remainder of the Europa League. So I actually got that wrong. We could have actually done a bit more of a clean out than I thought we could, but we'll still definitely do one going into our next season here at RB Leipzig. Definitely some players I still think who aren't quite up to the quality that we need here to challenge for the Bundesliga, but thankfully all our new signings have been registered for the remainder of the Europa League. So thankfully we just got in time there to make sure that free new player rule wouldn't affect us, because we bought a couple in before it restarted with those last couple of league phase games. But first up today, we take on FC Koln. These guys, as I said, not too far behind us in terms of the Bundesliga table. We jumped above them during the course of yesterday's episode, and also those couple of games that we did play against those teams down near the relegation zone. Their recent form, they have dropped points with draws against Mainz as well as Wolfsburg. So hopefully that suggests that we can beat them first up. In today's episode, the manager, Christian Titz, let's try not to giggle at that one. Their captain, Marvin Schwabe, is their goalkeeper at 31 years old. He looks decent, but to be fair, does only have 2.5-star current ability and potential is quite similar to what we've got there in Van der Voort in goal. Just a bit older, their vice captain, that's Dejan Ljubicic. He is from Austria, 29 years old. He looks like a little bit of a better player, but that same current ability and potential. And their key player, that would be Lars Lucas Mai, a centre-back come defensive midfielder German. Again, though, with just that 2.5-star current ability and potential. So on paper, this is a team we should be better than. But to be fair, despite our good recent form here so far at RB Leipzig, we've been dealing with quite a few injuries. You can see there on the right-hand side, just coming back recently. Thankfully, Benjamin Sesko, a very minor issue he picked up in that previous game. Thankfully, he's back in time, has not missed a single game. Benjamin Onriks has just come back from a virus. Our first choice right back, and Van der Voort has recovered from those pulled knee ligaments he suffered off the back of our first game in charge yesterday. But we are missing 4 players currently at RB Leipzig. 2 of them squad players. Hugo Sergey's out with fractured ribs. That shouldn't affect us too much considering he's a third choice right back. Also missing Yusuf Poulsen. He should be back quite soon from a hernia. That could be quite useful if we need some striker depth, someone a little bit more similar to Sesko instead of Andre Silva. A couple of players also missing from our regular first team. Jaden Oosterveld, another player who has picked up a flu, and he's out for 2 weeks. Hopefully might be back in time for that Bayern Munich clash, but that's a bit frustrating. I've got a flu floating around here now for a little while at RB Leipzig. For some reason, it keeps going around even though I keep sending players home. Let's hope that stops quite soon, because that is a big player to be missing for this first game in today's episode. And also, Colours Magno picked up that injury in his first game in yesterday's episode. He's 1 to 4 days away from coming back from some fractured ribs. So again, he should be back in time for that Bayern Munich game. But definitely been dealing with a few injuries so far here at RB Leipzig, but thankfully hasn't cost us yet. Let's hope it doesn't bite us in the bum before that Bayern Munich game. We'll be probably going to lose for the first time properly this season, unless it happens earlier. Hopefully it won't be the case in this first game today as we take on Cologne. But this is an away day, so before we get stuck into this first game, it's time for the KloppBot's Hotspots. And we do actually need a hotel for our trip today, seeing as it's a 5-hour trip here from Leipzig to Cologne. So because of that, the KloppBot has hooked us up with a hotel. The Amaron Cologne Hotel Regent, the centrally located 4-star hotel, combines classic elegance with modern amenities. Situated close to the Rhine Energy Stadion, it offers convenient access to the stadium and city attractions, making it ideal for sports teams. And you'll notice that even on their website, it quite heavily features the ground that we're playing at. So definitely this one does look like a pretty good spot for a football team to stay, especially if they're in the Bundesliga. There's not actually that many photos of the hotel itself on here. You can see there's some of that information that the KloppBot did find. Going down further to a hotel at the stadium in Cologne, apparently it's about 10 minutes away. Going down further, that's the one picture of inside the hotel. The pillows look quite nice, and a pretty large headboard, and that must be a view of the hotel or from the hotel itself. But unfortunately, not too much going on there on the hotel website, but obviously it's pretty close to the football stadium because it's the main picture that's on their website. So that's where we're going to be staying here before we get stuck into our activities before this big away game in the Bundesliga. First up, we're going to do an urban treasure hunt in Cologne's old town. We're going to engage the team in a dynamic treasure hunt through Cologne's historic centre. This activity combines exploration with problem solving, enhancing teamwork as participants uncover the city's hidden gems. Hopefully it helps their trust in me as a manager, because that really is the only thing letting us down currently at RB Leipzig, despite the fact we've actually picked up wins in all our games so far. But here's the website for this first thing we're going to be doing here in Cologne. It's pretty much like the ultimate race, but we're doing a treasure hunt. That's the best way I can describe it. Look at this one. It takes 2.5 to 3 hours. Physical demands are low, so it should be pretty cruisy for us here, maybe the morning of the game. There's a couple of pictures of it. Happy time that team must have won. And yeah, that's what we're going to be doing first up here in Cologne, a treasure hunt for team bonding. Next up, we've got two things that are on the same website, so might as well go through them both at the same time. Go-kart racing. This definitely is the thrill-seeking activity here in Cologne. We'll experience the thrill of go-kart racing at a local track. This competitive yet fun activity allows team members to challenge each other, promoting camaraderie and a healthy competitive spirit, and we'll back that up with an archery workshop just in case anyone gets too cocky or tries to injure someone in the go-kart racing. Then they can get something that's coming to them with the archery shooting. Will participate in an archery session where the team can learn and practice their skills. This activity emphasizes focus and precision, encouraging mutual support and concentration among team members. Let's hope there's no injuries during the course of those two activities. They're both on this website. Here's a quick look at the go-kart track. That looks pretty solid, definitely. Already noticing quite a bit of a driving theme here in Germany with the activities that we can do. Apparently, we can get up to 60k an hour as well with those go-karts. And one above that, we can do the archery class not from too far away, which might be quite a safe thing. But yeah, we'll do some archery as well as some go-karting. A little bit disappointing the KloppBot didn't maybe take us to the Chocolate Museum or even on a beer tour once we make our way up to that. That could have been something a little bit different from the two slightly physical activities, but to be for the players, they definitely can't have beer before the game. Chocolate might be okay, but we'll probably keep things nice and healthy here with the archery and the go-karting. So those are the KloppBot's free hotspots here for Cologne. Hopefully can keep our unbeaten record to date going at RB Leipzig with a win away at Cologne. And here are the team sheets for this first game in today's episode. First up, Cologne, they are going with a 4-3-3 Naby Keita in the field. Quite a big name there. Probably the biggest in terms of on paper in their team. Couple of changes for us down the left-hand side compared to our usual best 11 Raum at left back with that flu that Oosterwolde has picked up, and also still got Ojlago there with the injury to Tellers Magno. Hopefully can pick up a win here and keep ourselves inside of those Champions League qualifying spots. And we don't have to wait too long for the first highlight of this game. Tackle from behind there from on legs, but thankfully it connects with the ball. We do get it back and make our way out from that quite quickly. Some nice short passing here in a bender. He makes his way down our right-hand side. He's been pretty good for us so far at right wing. Floats that one in there for Sesko. Goes looking for the top right corner, but unfortunately that one goes just over the bar. Definitely on the front foot early, but still 0-0. And just sneaking past the 20-minute mark, and again here we're on the attack with the second highlight of this game of thrown inside the final third. Ojlago plays that one nicely in there for Baumgartner, but a really good save there from the captain and Schwabe in goal for Cologne. So that keeps it at 0-0. Couple of really good chances early in this game. From the corner, we can't do too much. You can see the stats there well and truly on the front foot. Still scoreless though. And just making way into the last couple of minutes of the first half, as you can tell from those stats, definitely been on the front foot, but unfortunately, not that many highlights and no goals. Hopefully, though, that's going to change here. A nice ball over the top there from Martel to Openda. It goes back there, though, to Martel, gets taken out, and actually a chance here for Cologne to hit us on the counter-attack. Really the first thing they've done in this entire game. Tillman now makes his way down that right-hand side, just junction drives, trying to evade a defender. Thankfully, a good header away there from Castello, but unfortunately, I think that there was Ojlago who tries to flick it on to no one. And now Van der Voort comes out, gets nowhere near the ball, but thankfully, big miss that one from Cologne just shy of half-time there. Nearly was a bit of an FMing just before the half, but thankfully it's still 0-0. But really, this is a game that we should be leading. So a little bit disappointed with that first half. Sesko on a 6.5, Baumgartner on a 6.5. We'll leave them out there, especially Sesko our best player, but Martel can come off by HEATS. He can come on, make his debut for us here at RB Leipzig. Pretty happy with the way we're playing. Just need to put the ball in the back of the old onion bag as it's still 0-0. And just coming to the hour mark now, still no highlights in the second half of this game. We've got a couple of players out there who are going fairly at half time, and the ratings haven't improved. Cisco on a 6.4, so I actually pull him here for silver, and also Openda was on a heavy workload going into this game, only on a 6.5, so Nusa can come on at right wing, Andre Silva up front. Hopefully they'll do a decent job of the bench. And a highlight right off the back of those subs. Cologne, they're trying to make their way out from the back. We get a foot in, but unfortunately they keep that ball. A good tackle there from Raum, but unfortunately he actually gets beaten there to the ball. They play that one into the mixer and they find Naby Keita, of all players, a former Red Bull lad, puts it away in the top left corner. And Cologne, they might be FMing us, because seriously, we've been all over them so far stats-wise in this game. To be fair, not many highlights. But yeah, we haven't been doing too much with all the chances we've had so far in this game. They make the most of that one there off the back of that tackle from Raum. Unfortunately, it didn't quite break up the play enough. We go 1-0 behind. Off the back of that, might be time for us here to make some subs. Raum's now going down to a 6.4. Klosterman can come on for him. And also Benzagier will bring on for a struggling Baumgartner. That'll be all our subs used after going 1-0 down. And we're just moving into the last 20 minutes of this game. It's a free kick here for Cologne, looking to make it 2-0 and put this one to bed, which would be a really harsh result considering how on the front foot we've been. But unfortunately, not been taking our chances. Thankfully on Rex that time, he actually puts a tackle in and gets the ball back for us, unlike Raum from that highlight that they did score from. Thankfully, we keep the ball, get it back out to him there, down our right-hand side, plays a nice ball forward there to Benzagier, who squares it for Andre Silva, but the assistant referee has put their flag up, so unfortunately, I do think this one might get ruled out for offside. Let's keep an eye out here on the players in the background. No celebrating because it gets ruled out for offside. Surprisingly, they take off Keita, who of course got that goal to put them in front. We'll just now try and press play again. Eventually, FM hopefully will show the replay of this offside decision. It's only a slight little foot in that one, but unfortunately, indeed, Silva is offside. Might here look to take off Orban on a 6.4, but of course we can't, because we used all our subs up before, so that was a silly idea from me, and we're still 1-0 behind with 10 minutes left. And just about to make our way into the last 5 minutes of this game, still 1-0 down, so it's time for us here to try and go a bit more attacking. Let's chuck out both our wing backs on attack, and also let's tell our balling midfielder to go on support. To be fair, can't do too much more in terms of the player roles compared to what they were back at Omiya Arudija. Also, let's tell our guys to be a bit more expressive, distribute quickly from out the back as well, and also just go in general a bit more attacking. Hopefully, we get a late highlight in this game. The XG almost makes me sick. It's been so one-sided in this game, but unfortunately, one of the two shots there from Cologne did hit the target, and we suffer our first defeat here at RB Leipzig. Maybe the red and blue shirt, that's the curse, because that's the first time we've worn that uniform here since I've come to the club. But our first defeat of the season, and it's not very well timed, just a couple of games before we take on Bayern Munich. Hopefully I can bounce back off camera when we do take on Mainz, but that is a pretty disappointing result considering how on top we were in that game. A couple of our usual key performers didn't really step up, the likes of Cisco as well as Openda, and we suffer a 1-0 defeat, and that means we drop outside of the Champions League qualifying spots. So a poor result for us there first up in today's episode. Thankfully bounced back here away from home though against Mainz. Openda floats that one far post for Cisco, who heads it home from pretty much point blank range to give us a nice early 1-0 lead, and then about to make our way into the last 20 minutes of this game, Baumgartner squares that one for Cisco, who picks up a double, so he was definitely a lot better in this game. And Baumgartner actually contributes to this last goal. Bit of a long range effort this one, takes the deflection off of Kraus, so it's given as an own goal, but we pick up a pretty comfortable 3-0 win there away from home. Not bad considering that Mainz, despite being all the way down about 14th on the table, were 5th on the form ones. Definitely were in quite good touch before that game, but stats-wise, pretty similar to what we showed against Cologne, but this time a lot more efficient in front of goal. You could argue we again probably should have scored more goals, but thankfully our defence holds firm and we pick up a 3-0 win. As it turns out, that gets us back inside of the Champions League qualifying spots, considering that Hoffenheim, they've drawn with Cologne on this match day where we're going to take on Bayern. But going back to the previous one, Stuttgart beat Eintracht Frankfurt, that doesn't affect things too much. This page does though. Gladbach beat Bayer Leverkusen. I don't think they've picked up any points since we got here. So Bayer Leverkusen with Graham Potter are definitely on the slide. And also Cologne, they got beaten by Bayern Munich, as you'd expect, in Union Berlin. Surprisingly, they held Hoffenheim to a draw. So those results did mean we've snuck our way back up to 4th on the table. That's where we're going to stay. Even if we lose against Bayern Munich in this next game that we are going to play. Before we have a look though at Bayern Munich, we have also had the draw for the round of 16 in the Europa League. It's quite an interesting one as well. We take on an RZ team who Brendan Rodgers lost to back in the Europa League in the only game he took charge of in this competition. So that's actually a bit of an interesting one for us there in the round of 16. We'll see if we come back for a bit of that during tomorrow's episode. To be fair, our games in the Bundesliga off the back of this Bayern one are also quite big against Hoffenheim and Dortmund. So maybe those are better ones that we can come back for in tomorrow's episode, because really, you'd think we'd get past RZ in that round of 16. That should be a team that we can handle, you'd like to think, but considering that they bet the Brendan Rodgers version of us back in that league phase, maybe they're a bit better than I'm giving them credit for. Ruben van Bommel is actually quite a decent player there. He was someone on our shortlist for left wing, apart from the fact that we couldn't afford him. So they've got some decent players, but hopefully that's a team that we can get past there in the round of 16, make our way through to the quarterfinals of the Europa League. But now it's time for our toughest test so far, the toughest test of this entire season, you'd think, at RB Leipzig, as we take on the runaway league leaders in Bayern Munich. They're currently 14 points clear of Dortmund. With this game in hand, they'll be expecting to win, considering the last 6 times they've taken us on, they've picked up wins. They definitely have the win over Leipzig in the save. Only 2 losses so far this season. They are absolutely running away with the Bundesliga, but hopefully with this one being at home, we can manage to pick up something from this game, but definitely a bit of a free hit for us here. Against the league leaders, Vincent Kompany is still in charge. Harry Kane is, of course, their captain. Here's what he looks like at 33 years old. Really, really good. This is definitely a bit of a step up from what we took on at Omiya Arudeja. Kim Min-jae, the South Korean vice-captain, another really good player that I'd quite like on my team, but the key player is the 23-year-old Jamal Musiala, who's even better than both of them according to the star rating. They're a little bit stacked here at Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga, probably going to take us a fair while to try and get over the top of them as a Bundesliga champion, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully we'll find a way here to take something off them in our first clash against them in the save, but definitely going to this one as the long outsiders, especially because they just beat that Cologne team that we couldn't 2-1 on that previous match day. So they're definitely a team in red hot form. Hopefully we can find a way to be a bit of a speed bump for them. Thankfully, a couple of players have come back from injuries off the back of that first game that we did play in today's episode. So most of our first teamers are available for this one. So hopefully we can put up a decent fight as we take on the runaway league leaders in Bayern Munich. So here's our team sheet for the first clash against the league leaders here in Bayern Munich. We've gone with our overall best 11 here at RB Leipzig, so it means that Oosterwolde is back at left back as well as Tellers Magno at left wing. The Bayern, they are going with a 4-2-3-1 as well, and it's definitely a very strong team they are rolling with. Hopefully we can somehow find a way to take some points off them at home. And we've done a decent job so far. It takes until the 16-minute mark here for the first highlight of this game. And to be fair, for the first time really since those opening couple of games that we played here at RB Leipzig, we've put some good pressure on them here, trying to make their way out from the back and actually do quite well to win that ball inside their own half. So a chance for us here to put them under pressure early. Thankfully that ball somehow falls through to Almas, but then Tellers Magno with a loose touch, albeit Upamecano makes a meal of things, but somehow Sesko then doesn't hit the target. That's a massive chance that we blow there early to take a 1-0 lead, still scoreless. And just shy of the half-hour mark now, we're on the front foot, a corner here in our favour. Pick out Sesko at the near post, but unfortunately that header goes just over the bar. So he's now had a couple of really good chances early in this game to give us a 1-0 lead. Definitely should have scored from that first one. That's a poor pass there from Oosterwolde, but thankfully we do keep that ball. Tellers Magno now makes his way into the opposition box, takes on the shot, but unfortunately that one gets blocked and Lunin can pump that one deep, albeit they win that one there to Bayern in the air. At least nice ball forward there to Leroy Sané. Their first attack really of the game, and they put that one away. Let's just wait and see if he was offside. No, he wasn't. So despite the fact that so far highlight-wise it looked like actually we've been on the front foot, the one chance that Bayern get, they cut us apart here on the counter-attack, at least cutting inside there and links up with the winger from the other side. Sane there puts that one past Van der Voort to give Bayern a 1-0 lead. And only a couple of minutes off back of that opening goal, Bayern Munich might now be putting the foot down here in this game. A free kick, albeit it is deep inside of their own half. Min Jae plays that one back there to Lunin in goal. Now Upamecano plays that one out to Alphonso Davies, who charges forward here down the left-hand side, picks out the goal scorer in Sane, but thankfully loose touch and Henriques can get the ball back for us here as we now try and make our way out from the back. Openda just starts to cut inside before playing that one back there to Orban. Now it's Baumgartner tracking back, but loose touch from him. So again, Bayern are on the attack. Davies with a long-range effort. Thankfully, that one's off target, but Bayern, definitely starting to work their way into this game, but thankfully, we are still only a goal behind and might get a chance here from a free kick just before half-time. Hopefully we can find Cisco at the far post. Instead, it's Martel, and that one, I think, came off the woodwork, so a good chance late for us there in the first half. We've definitely had enough chances to make this one all square going into half-time. In particular, that big chance from the first highlight to Cisco off the back of a mistake from Upamecano, but unfortunately, he couldn't hit the target. And then the one chance that Bayern had, they did us there on the counter-attack through Leroy Sané. Just checking out some player ratings. Baumgartner struggling on a 6.4, so Benzagear can come on for him at half-time. But apart from that, we're not actually playing that badly, I feel like. So I think we'll just make that one sub going to the second half, trying to encourage our boys, because nothing to really lose here against the runaway league leaders. But unfortunately, we're 1-0 down. And a very good highlight here in the second half. It's a throw-in for Bayern here just inside of our half as well. So hopefully they don't grab a cushion goal here, because that probably would put this game to bed. But now it's Goretzka plays that one forward there. And a long-range effort from Harry Kane. Van der Voort there. It was straight at him, but for some reason, parries out for a corner. So not great work there from Van der Voort. To be fair, was quite good in that previous game that we did play against Mainz. Thankfully, the handball there was from Bayern, because I was about to freak out about that if it was from us. Thankfully, it's a free kick in our favour, and it stays 1-0 to Bayern Munich. Albeit now, we might make some subs, because a couple of players at the back are struggling on 6.4s. Henriques can come off for Klosterman, and Colwell can come on for Orban, as we're still 1-0 down. And right off the back of that, we have a corner here looking far post for Benjamin Sesko. Somehow it comes off the woodwork. They clear their lines not very well. It goes back out to Sesko though, and finally he puts the ball in the back of net. We make it 1-1 here at the Red Bull Arena. You can see there, the initial header comes off the woodwork. I think Lemire there just doesn't really clear it too well. Thankfully, goes back out to Sesko, who can put that one away. We equalise just shy of the hour mark. In a few minutes off back of that equaliser, might be time for us here to make another sub. Openda's dropped down to a 6.4, so we'll take him off. We've got two options now on the bench in Nusa and Ujulago. And I think Ujulago is probably a bit better, so let's bring him on and put Magno out at right wing late on in this game. He can do a job there, so that might be a good option off the bench instead of a bit of a younger, less talented option at the moment in Antonio Nusa. A highlight as that sub is about to go through. It looked like there we might be going to do something on the counter-attack, but unfortunately lose out there to Bayern, and Leroy Sané makes his way inside the box, and Van der Voort really should be stopping that one. He's definitely a player I want to sell come the end of the season, and yeah, that's not going to help his case. As I said before, quite good when we took on Mainz, but that's a bit of a poor effort, that one. To be fair, we get cut open there quite easily down our right-hand side, but that's a really tight angle. Van der Voort gets a touch on that one, just not a big enough one. Sané picks up a double to make it 2-1 Bayern. Albeit short off the back of that, got a free kick now in our favour, which Klosterman will put far post, and Costello Lacaba will get up and put that one past the Lunin in goal. So quite a similar goal to the one down the other end, as though from a set piece. A pretty similar angle though. That one though from quite a bit closer range. Not sure if the goalkeeper can take quite as much blame, but thankfully we're not behind for too long here. That makes it 2-2 with 20 minutes left. And off the back of that, quite a few players have dropped down to red hearts. Only one sub left. Trying to shore up our defence might be the best idea with that. So Stefan Bajatic can come on for these last 20 minutes, as it's now locked up at 2-2. And just make one into the last 5 minutes of this game. To be fair, stats-wise, we're actually on the front foot in this game, so we're doing quite a good job, and hopefully might get a chance here to pinch all 3 points, albeit cost them in there with a loose touch. And good work there from Upamecano to let the ball roll and turn, and he gets Bayern here going on the counter-attack. Nice ball forward that for Fabio Vieira, who puts the ball into the mixer. That gets deflected. Thankfully, we deal with the danger. A shot there from Matthias Tell. It falls back there. I think that's too Paulinho, but thankfully tail went a bit too early and was offside. We make our way into 5 minutes of added time again. Got a throw in here inside of the final third of Bayern. Nice touch that from Benzema, and Tallis Magno puts it past Lunin. We take a late 3-2 lead here. This would be a massive 3 points, especially in the race for European qualification, in particular the Champions League, because these are definitely 3 unexpected points off the back of that time for us here. Go proper time wasting. We might also pull the inside forwards back onto support. We probably should leave the shadow striker, considering the KloppBot did say we should do that if it was the advanced playmaker, but also pull him back to a support if we could do that from attack, but we can't do that with a shadow striker role. But Benzema, lovely touch that one to set up Tallis Magno. Some good short passing. That first touch pass there though from Benzema is an absolute beauty to set up Tallis Magno. 2 of our new signings there. They link up for hopefully a game-winning goal, albeit now we're down the other end for a throw into Bayern Munich. Davies gets it back there, plays it in there for Musiala, who for some reason gets left all alone and puts it away top left corner. To be fair, can't blame Van der Vaart for that one. That's just some really poor defensive work. So off the back of that, we'll just completely undo all those changes that we made only 2 minutes ago when I thought we got a game-winning goal. Unfortunately, because we're playing Bayern Munich, that's not how FM's going to work today. So unfortunately, we blow it late there. Hopefully, we can still get something out of this game. I'm definitely okay with a draw against the team who are 15 or so points clear on top of the Bundesliga. But Musiala there, just given way too much space, just waltzes his way into the box and puts it away into the top left corner. So unfortunately, that cancels out that well-worked goal from Tallis Magno. And it looks like it will be a 3-3 draw in our first game against Bayern Munich. Certainly not a bad result, but based on stats, that's probably a game we actually could have won, especially with a late 3-2 lead. So we've done well there to come back and grab something from that game. Just a bit frustrating that it wasn't all 3 points, but to be fair, that's a point we weren't expecting going into this game week. So we'll take that point off Bayern and keep ourselves inside of the top 4 off back of a 3-3 draw. So a little bit of a frustrating result for us, that one, second up in today's episode. Quite happy with the point, but definitely could have actually got more from that one with that goal late on to Tallis Magno, but unfortunately it got pegged back straight away through Jamal Musiala. But a 3-3 draw against Bayern, not too bad, more frustrating though. That 1-1 loss to Cologne, but I guess that's just a bad day at the office. Our first one so far, really, at RB Leipzig. Thankfully, we got our way back up into the top 4 with that win off camera over Mainz, and we are now 2 points clear of both Hoffenheim and Cologne. So currently in a Champions League qualifying spot, which does mean our next 2 games in the Bundesliga are also quite big. So we'll probably come back for those in tomorrow's episode instead of that Europa League round of 16 clash, just because that's really our toughest games left in the season in terms of Hoffenheim as well as Dortmund for quite a bit. And off the back of that, hopefully we can then focus on the quarterfinals forward in the Europa League. But if you enjoyed today's episode, our first loss here at RB Leipzig to Cologne, but we did take a point off Bayern Munich, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. Until tomorrow, as I said, another big couple of games in the Bundesliga. We will take on Hoffenheim, that one away from home, so we'll get stuck in there too. The KloppBot's hotspot before we take on Borussia Dortmund. An interesting game for the KloppBot. Until then, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.